life of Sierra. We are here today to celebrate the life of Sierra. Ralph Waldo Emerson is quoted saying, "To laugh often and love much, this is to have succeeded." If this is true, then I believe that Sierra succeeded well in life, as she is someone who loved to laugh and loved to make others laugh. I knew Sierra very well. Some could even say that I was her twin. She could have been one of your classmates or perhaps one of your friends. Sierra had many qualities that showed her character. She was independent, she was shy, and she was very hardworking. People that knew Sierra knew that she was independent for most of her life. Her mother would even probably tell you that she had been independent for all 23 years of her life. Even as a young child, she showed signs of being independent. At 9 months old, Sierra's mother would give her a bottle and rock her to bed. One day she took the bottle, walked over to her crib, and asked to be put to sleep. From then on, Sierra never had to be rocked to bed again. Sierra was putting herself to bed before 10 o'clock on school nights. Sierra was also independent outside of high school. Sierra got a job from a small company at 19 years old and then started earning a check to pay rent. Sierra moved out of the house by 19. By 22, she moved even further away. She got a full-time job and enrolled at the local college. She paid for rent and school by herself. There are many examples throughout her life that show that Sierra preferred to do most things by herself, and she did not enjoy relying on others. This independence was likely caused due to the fact that she had been shy her entire life. Sierra was very shy in her life, and it affected many things. Shyness is a quality that is looked down upon by most people, and by looking at Sierra's stories, we can see why. From a very young age, Sierra exhibited many signs of being shy. There are many stories that I could tell you to prove how shy she was, but I don't believe she would want them told. As a baby, Sierra was asked to model for Gerber. While it would have been a great opportunity, her mother was forced to turn it down because she knew that Sierra would only cry and cry and that she would never get to the actual photo shoot. When Sierra was dropped off at school, she would ask her mom to turn down the radio because she did not want the other students to hear it, because she did not want the attention it caused. Sierra was a gamer, and as a gamer, female players have always been rare. In certain multiplayer games, there is an option to have a voice chat. Sierra was always afraid to talk on this voice chat because she knew she would stand out, and she would not speak unless she had to. In more recent years, I could tell that she was forcing herself to try and get out of this shyness. There's a quote from Susan Cain saying that, "I think shyness one feels in childhood is often overcome with time. There are children who hide behind their parents' legs, but you don't see grown-ups hiding behind people." Sierra realized that she would need to overcome her shyness in order to succeed, and that she could no longer hide behind her parents or other people's backs. She was forcing herself to apply to jobs and talk to people and get rejected. She was no longer allowing the shyness to control her. To sum it up, she was a very shy person throughout her entire life, but towards the end I could tell she was trying to change this. Her shy personality controlled most of her life, but because she was so hardworking, she was willing to get over it, and she knew she had to in order to achieve greatness. Sierra worked very hard when she had a goal in life. Life was not always the easiest for her, and she knew that she had to work hard to create a future for herself, one she would have had she lived on. She was very hardworking in both work and school. She was one of those students that would get her homework done on time, and she would never fail a class. In more recent years, she became even more hardworking. At 22, she got a full-time job. 2 months after working full-time, she decided to go back to school while also continuing to work. At work, she progressed from a starting position to a pharmacy technician in under a year. This was a great achievement because Sierra was working to become a pharmacist. If she had lived on, she would have worked very hard to get into Concordia, her school of choice. Ultimately, there are many traits that each person has. Each person is different in their own way, and that makes them special. You have heard of how Sierra was an independent, introverted, and very hardworking person. Although she was not able to become a Gerber model because of her shyness, she was independently putting herself to bed by 9 months and was working hard to put herself through college while also working to afford to live by herself. I am going to miss Sierra. I will miss how she refused to let herself get overstressed even in the toughest of times. A person lives on through their interactions with other people. People imprint themselves on each of us, and when they pass, they are never truly gone. Sierra may have passed, but she will live on forever in our memories.